welcome to the Love Kanique podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Benita.
and we are back for another show. Took a little break. Hold on, y'all. We took a little break, but we are back.
We definitely did. We definitely did.
We're back. Hold on. We're back, though. We are back. We are back. We are back.
Yes,
So,
we
if
are.
you are new to our show, which, we've been doing this show since 2019 now. Yeah, remember,
Really?
we started this show before I moved into my house, and I moved into my house in 2020. Yes,
Wow.
I know. It just went by fast.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
did.
it went by real fast. Yeah. So,
But we didn't go live on here until you went into that house, right? Until you went into your house, right? I think we were pre-recording.
yeah, I think we were only doing audio then. Yeah, I think we were
Yeah.
only doing
Okay.
audio then, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I was here when
Yeah.
we.
Once we went on video, you were in your house by
Yeah,
then.
yeah, I think I
Okay.
was. I think I was in my house. But yes, if you are new to our show, welcome. We have taken a little break, but we are back and we are excited to be back. If you don't mind subscribing, because we're trying to growing the channel and growing the show, and also hit the notification bell because we do this show usually every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, unless it's a panel show. When it's a panel show, we try to do it a little later to let everybody get home from work and get settled and all of those things. So it's around 7:30, but normally 6 o'clock on Wednesdays, but sometimes we do change that. So you will get notified if we decide to go live on a different day or time.
Yes.
So how have you been, V?
I'm good. I'm good. Just living life. Just living life.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm good.
taking it day to day. That's all we can
Huh?
do. Taking it day
Yes,
by day.
exactly.
That's all we
Exactly.
can do.
How are you?
I am doing really well. I'm doing good. Had a little
Fantastic.
moment yesterday because my mom's birthday, but I'm doing okay. I got through it. It's all good, and we gonna rock and roll. We're
For
gonna
sure.
rock and roll. So we're gonna talk about actually a subject that we did many moons ago when we first started the podcast back in 2019, and the name of the show was called Unattractive, and it talked about how we're judged so harshly, men and women, but definitely us women, on our looks. How
Mhm.
that affects us psychologically, and basically how we see ourselves. And what gave me the idea to want to do a part two of the show is I came across a TikTok of a man talking about how he felt like he should have paid more attention to his looks, because he's getting judged so harshly, I guess on the internet, on his TikTok, because he got quite a following on his TikTok, about the way he looks. So I want to play that video, and then we will come back and kind of discuss what he said. So hold on and let me see if I can share my screen. Hold on, let's see if I can share. Um, let's see if it'll let me share. Okay, I'm
Okay,
going.
it's up.
Okay, it's up. Okay, you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
can see it.
okay,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna play it. Here we go.
I'm a fat old black ass nigga. Looks matter. They matter. I just turned 40 this past March, and one of my biggest regrets is not realizing just how important looks are and how much your appearance matters in this world. Human beings are naturally superficial. It's a part of our biology. It's ingrained in us. We can't help it. We are biased toward treating people who look good better. It's just the facts of life. The faster you realize this and the faster you accept this, the better off you will be in the long run. There are a lot of aspects about yourself that you can't change, but the ones that you can, change them as quickly as possible while you are still young, and you have the energy, the flexibility, the agility, the time, and the resources to really work on yourself and your appearance. I'm working on my stuff right now as we speak. I've had a number of health setbacks over the years, but I can tell you that getting on social media and seeing all the reactions that I have gotten to my appearance, not that it has had a psychological impact on me in a way, because I'm fundamentally aware of the fact that I'm overweight, but but I think for me it was kind of bittersweet just seeing the reaction, because it's like you just realize that as human beings we just can't help but to be judgmental and to be superficial, and there's no use in trying to fight that. And if you really want to mitigate the stress of constantly worrying about your appearance, work on it. Because it is a fixable issue for most people, for the vast majority of people, it's fixable. You just got to work on it. You just got to take the time, sit down, do your due diligence, and put in the time and effort to really work on your appearance and how you want others to perceive you. Physically, that is. Now, your personality, it's a whole different story. I'm only talking about looks in this particular context. So that being said, if you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, while you still have the energy, while you still have the time, because you may not have kids and a wife yet, please work on yourself. And even after you have kids and a wife, still work on yourself. Work on yourself. Keep up with your appearances, because people are going to judge you whether you want them to or not. So it's just facts of life. There's no use in complaining about it. There's no use in trying to, make videos on TikTok trying to get other people to, rally against, body shaming, or we got to be more blah, blah, blah. No, just stop. There's no point. It is what it is. Looks matter.
Look,
That's
V,
so deep.
he said, don't try to get people to making videos.
Rally against you, yeah. He like you wasting your time. People looks matter. Period. Point blank.
That is such an uncomfortable truth.
It is.
It
It
is
actually
an
is.
uncomfortable truth, what he's saying.
That's true.
I have always known that, or always been aware that uh, the judgment on looks is one of the, if not the biggest judgment there is in society, or what I like to call the matrix. And I noticed that in kindergarten, Vanita.
Dang,
5
for
years
real?
old. Yeah, I was aware even in kindergarten
Wow.
that, to me, the prettier little girls seemed to be favored. I noticed that.
I
I
see.
was aware of that to a degree, even at 5 years old, which is sad.
Very much so. At kindergarten, I don't think it registered for me till like fourth, fifth grade.
Yeah,
God
kindergarten.
dang. Wow.
I knew that. And it's been doubly, since I've been
Mm,
an adult. And we know that, for to hear a man say it is one thing, but it is
definitely.
triply harsh for women.
It is. That's true.
Triply
And that's
harsh.
because men don't normally chastise men, but women chastise women all day. That's why. It's triply hard for women because they're not just getting it from the men, they get it from their counterparts as well.
Yeah. Women women stay in comparison mode,
Yes.
in a silent competition with other women,
Yep.
um, based on looks.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the core of this competition comes from wanting the validation and the attention of the male collective,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Women want the adoration that they believe the girls who look a certain kind of way are getting. And a lot of times, that silent competition that a lot of women be in with other women, it only hurts them.
That's true.
The guy made a couple of good points. Which everything he said in that video is unfortunately is very, very true. And like he
It is.
said, there's really no need to make videos about body shaming, especially when it comes to men, because men, that's if not the number one thing they be concerned about
That's true.
is your looks. And it ain't no amount of whining and crying and telling
Trying to
them that
convince them. Yeah. None of
trying to
that.
convince them that they wrong that's going to change the way they feel about the situation. So I kind of wanted to talk about this in from two different perspectives, because there's a matrix perspective or a societal perspective that, from what the guy said, and which I completely agree with, that's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
We always going to be judged on our looks, because that's kind of the program in which the matrix operates on. The matrix operates, when I say the matrix, I mean society, the world, the physical, the 3D. That's kind of the program that it operates on. It's just not looks, it's everything superficial that y'all love. Y'all love everything that's of the ego. That includes
Mm-hmm.
looks. Y'all praise looks. Y'all praise people that have money. Y'all praise
Mm-hmm.
people that have popularity.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that y'all feel.
Titles.
Oh, titles. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Title, job titles, and you know,
Doctor, lawyer.
yeah,
They
people
hang on to
with
those.
status, you know. That's a
Mm-hmm.
big one. Y'all praise social status. So
Yep.
until there's a collective mindset set shift,
Mm-hmm.
until there is, and I personally don't think it'll be completely in this lifetime for
I
sure.
agree.
That's just kind of the how what we're dealt to deal with, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what he said was true as far as this is a fixable, um it's fixable for most people. Definitely for women. Now, I'll say for men, you know, men who are tall are genuinely considered more attractive by the collective.
Hold on. Can we back up a little bit? You said there was two parts of it. So you gave the outer part. What was your
And
other?
the second part is the second part. I want to look at it through the perspective of the spiritual eye,
Oh, okay. Okay.
which I suggest looking at it from, especially if you're having an issue with dealing with your self-esteem because of your looks,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Okay. I got you. Mm-hmm.
So it is a fixable, um it's a fixable thing, especially for
Mm-hmm.
most women, because, and Vanita and I know this because we've kind of been on both sides of the spectrum when it comes to weight gain, right?
Yep.
And I want to be sensitive because I'm a person who understands how it's not easy to lose weight and to get in shape.
It's
It
not.
takes a lot of dedicated effort, which is why a lot
Mm-hmm.
of women don't do it. It takes a lot. It's a mental thing. I think more than anything, your mind got to
Hmm.
be there. And with the stresses of life, it's not always easy to go to the gym or eat right and
Hmm.
all of these things. But I will say, from Benita's and I perspective of having, been bigger and lost weight, there is a noticeable difference in how people treat you and how people react to you. Benita, have
Hmm.
you seen that with your weight loss as well?
Most definitely. Most definitely. From the outside, on both parts of what you spoke of, from
Mm,
even me having more self confidence in myself,
yeah,
I have noticed the difference as well. So when you have self confidence in yourself and you start holding boundaries for yourself, it makes a difference too. So it's a lot of things that play into it.
it is. It's the rabbit hole goes deep
Very much
because
so.
there is a change in your attitude, and I think
Hmm.
it's because it's almost like you feel like you have a little bit more, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but a little bit more power, if you will.
Uh, it is. That is what it feels like. I don't know what other word
Words
to use
really
either.
use.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that myself. That's the only word I know to use as well. You feel like you have more, I guess, power over yourself. I'm
Mhm.
not. It's not power over someone else. It's really power within yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think that's reflected too, because I think sometimes when you're heavier, and it's not
Hmm.
everybody,
That's true.
but you know, I'm in a weight loss group, um, in a weight, not a weight loss group, but I'm in a weight loss group on Facebook. And one of the biggest things I hear a lot of people say who have lost the weight is that they don't take a lot of the things that they used to take or put up with when they were bigger.
Yeah. That is that. That's why I said power within yourself. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly that.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I say it almost gives you, I guess, relate power to confidence, if you will, and a
Yeah.
little bit more belief in yourself, right?
Hmm. Yes. That's a good way of saying it as well. I agree with that.
Because people do ridicule you. I think it's a little bit more accepted, you know, in our community, because a lot of us are thicker, we're
Hmm.
thicker women or whatever. So, it's a little bit more accepted. But what I can
It
say,
depends on where you live too, because I will tell you on the West Coast, being thick is not, they thick is not our thick in Georgia. It's two different thicks.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it depends on where you're raised as well.
yeah, because California and Georgia thick, and it's judged a bit differently
It is.
depending on where you live. Definitely,
Hmm.
but it's fixable for the majority of women, and
Hmm.
we can cry about it and whine about it, say it's unfair, and all of these things, which I believe, I wish we could see past the physical, and make judgments based on the conditions of each other's character and our soul and all those things, but that's just really not realistic.
I mean, it
Especially,
goes, we're talking weight on the women's side, but as we can see from the gentleman, it's weight on the gentleman's side. Now, does he have probably a better chance of getting into a relationship or getting a woman than a woman would if it was flipped? Probably so.
yeah,
But their comparison of weight is no different than our comparison of short men.
that is a fact.
And the men can't control their height. They can't do anything about it.
That is a fact.
So to me, we have to keep that in mind too when we're screaming and yelling saying, why won't y'all accept us how we are? Well, they're asking the same question. Why aren't you accepting us at the height that we are?
That's true. That's true. Attraction is a thing. It's
It
a,
is. Mm-hmm.
you know, sexually it's a thing,
Yep.
you know. Certain men, when I look at them, I think sexual thoughts.
Yes.
I do. I do. I do.
I feel you.
Because of the attractiveness, the attractiveness of the man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It triggers something. So I'm sure that's doubly the case for men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sex is at the top of the list for men. That's really all they think about all damn day and night. So if attractiveness triggers, connects to their sexual prowess, that's gonna be a thing. And
Exactly.
again, Vanita and I can tell you that losing the weight made a big difference in a lot of things. Even in it took some years off our age too.
Man,
It did.
on a
People,
deep level.
people think we're younger than we are now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
nothing but we lost weight.
That's it. We were at an event this past weekend, and the guys swore that we were anywhere from 10 to 15. I think one guy even said 20 years younger than what we are.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was just like, wow, like, you think I'm how old?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right. Because the way it ages you,
It does.
it ages you.
Hmm.
And like the guy said, that is fixable, right?
It is. It
You
definitely is.
the truth of the matter is, and this is for women more so, because usually women will take a bigger guy before men, and I'm not gonna say
Exactly.
men because every woman can get a man. I don't think it is a woman on earth that cannot get a man. All women can get a man. The issue is the caliber of man that most women desire.
Hmm.
I can go out on a limb and say the majority of women would like a man who is financially stable, right? And
Hmm.
somewhat, attractive or somewhat attractive. I can comfortably say that's what most women would desire, right?
Exactly. Whatever attractiveness is for you, because that's
Yeah,
in the eye of the beholder. So
yeah. That those men, usually those type of men are going to require you to look a certain kind of way.
it's true.
They are. And I am not saying to get your looks and your weight together to get no man. That's completely a choice of yours. But what I will say and keep it 100 is if you don't, you get what you get. Those are not
Yep.
my rules. I wish it wasn't the case. I do. But those looks are going to play a part in the caliber. I didn't say getting a man because anyone can get a man. But those looks are going to play a part in the caliber of a man that you can attract.
Hmm.
So, and I can go out on a limb also because I know women. I've been around y'all all my life. I have plenty of friends, a bunch of cousins, a bunch of family members. I watched women all my life. What I do know is y'all be wanting to be in these relationships with these men. Y'all be wanting, and y'all be wanting it bad. You do. We're gonna keep it real. So in order to achieve this goal that everybody's setting out to get marriage, most of y'all want to get married. You got to work on yourself. And yes, I talk a lot about, internal work, which is, in my opinion, number one. But you also got to, we also got to work on our outside too. If you want to be able to attract, a better quality a man, that weight is holding you back. Again, you can get a man. I'm not saying your weight you can't get one. But the one that most women want, the ones that most women want, yeah, they're gonna be attracted to you. Like you gonna want to be attracted to them.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would hope they would want to be attracted to them because,
Yeah,
you know, you gotta, you going into a relationship, so you're gonna see them on a constant basis. You would want to be, I would think, I can't speak for the whole, but I
and,
know myself, I do.
and again, some women don't care about that.
Yeah,
Some women don't
you're
care
right.
about that, but
You're
men,
right.
most men care about that. That's
Now
what I'm
they
kind of
do.
leaning more towards women because we'll take them kind of any old kind of way sometimes as far as looks is concerned, but they don't. The ones who got shit, the ones who got jobs and houses
The
and money.
method man type look, cause he fine.
Ooh,
But the method man
that
type
man,
look,
that man is smoking.
ooh, girl.
He is like
Mm.
there are certain men that just are sexy.
Period. Without doing anything, because it ain't like he be trying to do anything special.
Nothing.
He walking sexy.
It's just naturally sexy. Those
Hmm.
kind of men.
Yeah.
That's the type of man I can safely say that the majority of women would be attracted to.
Hmm.
Those type of men are going to want to be equally attracted to you.
Exactly.
And again, I'm not saying get your looks together for a man. That's completely up to you. But what I will say is again, you get what you get. You know.
I will say, ladies, don't do it for the men, but do it for yourself. You'll be amazed how different you feel about yourself, how different you carry yourself, how much more your light shines within yourself
Yes.
by losing the weight. It's a heaviness to it that you don't even realize is going on. You can think you're a bad chick, but I promise you, if you try and lose the weight and it comes off, you're going to see a different type of shine about your own self.
That's very true. Your confidence does go, it goes up.
It shoots to the sky. I promise you. Try the comparison. Try
Yeah.
it. Right
Yeah.
now, you don't really have a comparison because unless you can remember what you look like, most ladies were small when they were in high school. So if they can look back to them days, I hear a lot of them say, man, if I had my high school body back. I've
Yeah.
heard several women say that, but you can
Absolutely.
have it back.
So sometimes y'all won't even go out. Y'all won't even go out certain places or do certain things because of your weight.
Hmm. Exactly. Yep. You
Sometimes our
can't find an outfit. You feel defeated because you flipping clothes in your closet left and right. Your bed is full of clothes because you're trying to feel what feels sexy to you.
yeah.
But when you lose weight, you have more options on clothes. Even when it comes down to shopping, it's amazing to not have to overthink what store to go into in order to get clothes.
Yes. I would agree. That is a good feeling. Like
Whew.
I can go in any store anywhere in the world now and get a pair of jeans because I wear a size 10.
That way. Those things make a difference and you don't realize it, but it is mentally taxing on you and you don't realize it because you've been in kind of, if you will, a rat race of it forever.
Yes, that is a fact. You don't even realize it. It was so
Not
many
at
things
all.
that we realized after we lost weight. Number one, the difference in treatment just from people.
Yeah, that was incredible.
You don't know it. You don't know. that you're subconsciously being judged until you on the other side of it, and it's actually disappointing.
I agree with that.
It's like really.
And it's disappointing because you would perceive that someone would treat you different based off of your personality, like a personality change, and not your outer appearance. Because who you are is really who's inside of you, your
Absolutely.
soul. It has
Absolutely.
nothing to do with your outside features. You could be a beautiful, wonderful, nice, loving, caring person. But again, like we all know, men will pass you by for that. They don't care about that because you don't have the look. And them not caring about it because you don't have the look makes you in turn feel away. It's all a chain reaction that runs together.
It is. It is. So on the other side of the coin, there is the spiritual perspective. See, it is not easy. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it separately, because looking at yourself through the perspective of the spiritual eye, meaning the way God sees you, not
Hmm.
in not in the vessel in which your soul encompasses. Because remember, we're souls in a body. This is like a costume we're in that we picked before we got here, right? You picked
Hmm.
to look like that, by the way, before you got here for whatever you came here to do. But that's another story for another
I was
day.
about to say you didn't went over so many heads right
Yeah,
now. They're like, what? But
that's
got you.
another story for another day. The
Yes.
the way God judges us is, you know, well, don't even judge us or looks at us is through the spiritual eye, right?
Hmm.
It's much easier if you come see yourself the way God sees you. Because see, the frustration and the depression and the sadness and all these things come from allowing yourself to believe what you're perceiving people are thinking or feeling about you.
Hmm.
And that's not an easy thing not to do, because you got to live in society, right?
Exactly.
You got to be around these people every day and deal with them and hear their bullshit and all of that. So it's not easy to do that, especially in a world of social media, which has made it so much worse for a lot of people. You just got all these beautiful people showing their beauty, you know, and you're looking at them and you don't look shit like that, right? Getting all
Hmm.
these praise and accolades and you don't look shit like that. So social media has made it so much worse, which is why it's so important to see yourself through, a spiritual lens and not judge yourself based on what society says. Because all of us are special, right? You just got to know that you're special. And that knowing that you're special doesn't come from people saying you look a certain kind of a way. Even people on the opposite end, I would tell this to the people who get all the praise and all the pretty people and all the tall people and all that shit that physically people put on a pedestal. I would even tell them, don't buy into that shit, because it's not real.
That's
It's
facts.
not real. Our looks, your looks, your looks fade. We're gonna get older. We're getting older. I'm almost 50, right? I don't look the same as I did, when I was 25. You know, it's just not the same. The vessel is changing. So I would even tell people who, are, physically what people like, don't buy into that. You still see yourself through the spiritual eyes, because if you are constantly dependent on the praise of the matrix because of your looks, what are you going to do when that's not there anymore? Because you're going to get older. You're not going to look the same. Looks fade, things change, right? You can't depend on that for validation. So it goes both ways. Like don't buy into the hype of needing egoic praise because that's what it is. It's praising things that are basically superficial, right? It's okay to be happy that you look good, or if you can wear the bikini or whatever, it's okay to, show that hard work off or be proud of that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying just don't buy into it into where you're dependent upon it or you're addicted to it. You know,
Yeah.
like you always gotta, post, because you want to done your like all of those things. Like don't get addicted to that adoration because that ain't good either. It's good to have the balance in, being proud of how you look. If you've done the work, you look amazing, particularly if you're at a certain age, you're at a certain age and you've, kept yourself up or whatever. There's nothing wrong with being proud of that. And that don't, let that drive you, if you will. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, at the end, it ain't all, none of it's gonna matter. What's gonna matter is basically, the love that you have from the people around you, your family and your friends, when these vessels start to shrink up and, I got wrinkles and we got wrinkles and we don't look the same and shit ain't working no and all of those things. None of that's gonna matter, but what's gonna matter is, the love you have from your family and friends, right? But if you want to, you know, be um considered a little bit more attractive or be able to attract more, of the opposite sex or a better quality, yeah, you can work on your looks like the guy gentleman said. You can work on it, whether it's working out, eating right, having surgery, taking Ozempic, whatever the situation may be, weight
Exactly.
training, whatever. So many ways that we can improve our physical appearance so that we can, look the best that we can look. And there's nothing wrong with that, particularly for women, because I know y'all want to get married or y'all want to be able to attract a certain quality of man.
Hmm.
I, they go together. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't
They
like that,
do.
honestly. I wish it was different, but unfortunately, it's not. And again, the beautiful thing about life is there's always choices. You don't have to do a damn thing. You can be happy where you at. And if you are happy where you at and it's all good, then, continue on, But if you want to have, a certain quality of male, and even for men, you listen, confidence goes a long way. You can't really help your height, if you 5'7", you just 5'7". There's nothing you can do with that. But what you can do is be confident in your 5'7". Like, dress your best, have your money together, all those things if you want to attract a certain caliber of woman. Same thing. Or you get what you get. It's kind of how it goes. Again, these aren't my rules. These are the rules of society. That's why I always suggest looking at things through a spiritual perspective. It just helps navigate life a lot better if you're not always looking at things through the matrix and trying to get validation from the matrix and trying to live up to the standards of the matrix and trying to fit into the templates that the matrix gave you. It's
Hmm.
stressful. That's why a lot of people are depressed.
I was going to say that's where a lot of the depression is coming from. So it would behoove you really to have a balance of the two, if
Absolutely.
that's what you're choosing, if that's what you want to do. But just worried about what they're saying constantly and not understanding who you truly are as a person is
Yes.
not going to fare well for you. For
Yes.
you. It's a lot of
Absolutely.
bricks on you behind that, trying to live up to the people's hype.
Say it again.
Yeah, trying to live up to the
Trying
people's
to
hype.
live up to the people's hype. Disconnect from Instagram. It's not realistic.
Mm-mm. And the
To
people's hype sometimes changes on you, so you want to know your own self worth.
you
The
got to
people will say you're wonderful one day, and the next minute you're garbage.
every single time. That's again, so feed into it. Feed into
Yes.
none of that ego shit. None of it.
Hmm.
Rich, fame, none of it. If whatever you may have that the people claim they like, they'll flip on you in a minute.
Yes, they will.
That's why it's so good to be grounded in who you really are. And again, that's a soul in a human body.
Exactly.
When you see yourself in that way, a lot of the anxiety of not feeling good enough just fades. You can come back in another body in another lifetime. When did you feel like look good? That's what you want to do. It doesn't even matter at the end of the
Oh,
day. And let me let women in on a little secret too. The majority of men wanting you to look good, it's just for sex.
I was gonna say that's all it is.
It ain't got shit to do with love. Nothing.
It don't really have nothing to do with relationship, none of that.
None of
They
that.
just ultimately when they first see you, all it is sex.
Just sex. They want you to look good so they can be more attracted to you when they're having sex with you.
Hmm.
So don't stress that. Like don't be upset because you feel like Shirley getting all the attention and all the men like Shirley. Child. Don't even let that bother you. And if you want Shirley's attention, you can get Shirley's attention. You can get just by simply being a certain size. I know that sounds superficial, crazy as hell, but it's true. It's true.
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing about choice. Again, if you're happy with how things are going, run it. And if you aren't, be honest with yourself. If you want to look better, feel better, have a better self image, you got to do something about it. You can do something about it. There's so many different ways now. And that's the beautiful thing about, you know, the advancement of technology and things and medicines and all of that. So many ways to help you get to where you want to be as far as your body now versus, 20, 30 years ago when basically you had to work out and, walk or whatever. There's a lot of
Exactly.
assistance that you can have now to get you where you want to be. You just got to take the time to do the research. You'd be surprised, if that's something that you really want to do,
Exactly.
because it does it. As far as the matrix society, it makes a difference, and it's an unfortunate truth, but it nonetheless is the truth. I suggest, like Vanita, having a healthy balance because you do have to live in the matrix. You have to deal with people and their judgments,
Hmm.
and their superficiality. We're going to have to deal with that because we're here. But then
Exactly.
also knowing that at the end of the day, it don't even mean nothing. You know, that we'll get older, these will fade, they'll start breaking down and dying out. And the only thing that we'll have is the love of the people around us. So it's kind of good to have a balanced perspective, and not lean too much on one side because leaning too much in the physical, worried about the physical will make you depressed. Leaning too much on the spiritual is unrealistic because you're in the matrix.
Exactly. You'll be frustrated as heck.
You'll be frustrated. Yeah. But again, it's been eye opening for Benita and I to see the
Most
different
definitely.
treatment that we have gotten from people since we got slimmer.
Hmm.
It's unfortunate, you know. Now, I hear the stories. I hear the stories of even uh, TikToks and videos on YouTube about fat shaming and people being judged and this and that, and they on the money. They're on the money. But like the guy said, trying to stop it is a waste of time.
Well, this starts all the way back in elementary school.
It
Like you
does.
said, kindergarten, you were seeing the difference.
I knew
It
then.
starts all the way back.
It does. Again, seeing yourself through the way God sees you will save you a whole lot of stress instead of trying to fit into these templates and all of these things and being sad because you don't and being sad because your hair ain't curly or your skin ain't light and all this shit. All
Oh,
this shit that we be wanting to look like. It's a waste of time, man. Be the best you could be. That's all you could do. Is try to be the best version of yourself.
hmm, that's
That's
it.
it. Don't even worry about it after that. Yeah. That I don't even know what else to say. I
I
don't
mean,
even,
it's nothing else. It goes back to people are gonna like you, they gonna dislike you. It's just kind of the way.
yeah, love yourself though. And it's easier to
Yeah,
love yourself when you look at it through, the way that God loves you. God thinks you're perfect. So why don't you think you're perfect? You don't think you're perfect because Jim and John and them feel like this and that and other. Is all right. That's their opinion. You don't need their
exactly,
validation. You
exactly.
don't. And if you do, that's a problem within itself.
I
Start.
was about to say, yeah, you got to start there. If you do, then you need to start there with self, for
hmm
real.
Start there. Again, a balance. Life is about balance. Life is about balance.
Definitely.
Don't buy into it either way. Whichever side you may be on, the praise side or the non-praise side. Don't buy, don't buy into it either way. Just love yourself, right?
Hmm.
That's ultimately what life is about, learning to love yourself the way God loves you. And that's why you get into so much non-love. That's why your perception is so skewed because it's almost like a game. The game is to overcome all of that, to see yourself the way God sees you. That's the game. And it's a hard game because you're fighting a lot of monsters
Hmm.
along the way. But that's another show for another time.
Yeah, that's very true,
Yeah,
boy.
that's another show for another time.
Hmm.
And we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Do you got any closing remarks, advice for everybody?
No, just pretty much what you said. Just try to balance it out. Really search yourself and ask, do you like you? Are you happy with you? What improvements can you make with yourself? Whether that's on the inside or the outside.
Yeah,
And then work on those things. That's
yeah.
really all you can do.
Be honest about that.
Hmm.
Be honest about that.
Agreed.
Well, we appreciate you joining as always. We'll be back next Wednesday. I will announce the time. I don't know what kind of show we're going to do. So, but of course, look out for that announcement. Because if it's a panel show, I have one at 9 that I got to make sure those people are available. It'll be 7:30, but if not, we will be back here next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We would love for you to join us again. If you are new, if you don't mind subscribing and hitting the notification bell, we would love your support. And again, I appreciate you showing up wherever you are in the world. If you're watching the playback, I appreciate you all, and we will be back next Wednesday, same time, same place. And you all have a great rest of your week. And
Good
we'll talk to
night.
you soon. Bye, y'all.